So I'm going to take a look at some Alsa flex chrome tape in this video and kind of show you the applications, or give it a little bit of a review as far as its application in lure making. I bought this from the company, and you can see it give you a lot. The roll that they sell is pretty large, so I think probably I have years and years and years of flex chrome tape. So I was hoping it was going to work, and it actually did. Not as maybe as well as I hoped it would work, but it's working. And so I just basically, when I start, I just cut a chunk off of there about as wide as I'm going to need, because working with that big roll is not reasonable. The other thing that I do is I lay this under a book. I have this set in a book because this stuff will roll up. If you just kind of leave it out like this, it'll roll up and then it gets hard to work with. So I just keep it under a book that'll keep it flat. And so what I found when I've been playing around with it, at least as far as what I've figured out here, is that I can't get it to bend around a really curved surface. So here's one of my bass baits. If I tried to put this tape around this curved surface, it was kinking up and doing all kinds of things like that. So it really wasn't effective for something like this. But on a semi-curved surface, it does a pretty good job. And so what I'm going to do on this lure right here is I'm going to put it around the bottom and around the top and give myself some nice chrome flash on this pink lure. And so I'm not totally flat here. I've got a little bit of a curve, and that's when this stuff works its best. Is when you got a little bit of a curved surface or a flat surface, this stuff will work really nice. So other things I've used in the past, I've used pinstriping chrome, and also lots of prism tape. And these really, I've only found them to be effective when I'm going on a totally flat surface. If the surface is flat, then both of these work. The flex chrome tape gives you a little bit of other options. Like I said, I could not put either prism tape or pinstriping tape on this bait. It just isn't gonna, it's just not gonna make those curves. The other thing that I found is that this flex chrome actually sticks better on the lures than either the prism tape or the pinstriping tape. I've had baits before when I caught a fish, and sometimes, you know, big fish are kind of hard on the lures, and they've actually peeled the tape back. And typically when you peel the tape back on a lure, it's done. But this one I was able to just stick it back down, and it stayed on there now for several trips after that. So this stuff is pretty nice. It sticks really well, a lot better than any of the tapes I've used. And so what I did here is I just made a little template for my lures, cut it out. I'm going to take this tape and go all the way around the top and around the back onto the bottom. And so I've already got it cut out there in my hook hanger there. I've just punched out a little hole with a hole punch there. So I'm just going to wrap this chrome tape all the way around my bait there and stick it down. So right now I'm pulling on it pretty good and kind of stretching it out as I pull it, just to get it to lay a little bit flatter. So regardless of whatever tape I'm using, I found that rounding the edges and rounding the corners here makes it a lot more likely to stay on the bait. Now, one of the reasons I'm doing this review as well is because I found no information about this tape from the company. The company had really horrible customer service. And so when I started, I just would stick it on there and now I would consider myself done, but that's not the case. You want to hit this stuff with a heat gun and flatten it out really nice. Right now, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in this video, but we got quite a bit of tape ridge. This tape, since it's flexible, is a little bit thicker than normal tapes. So I've got a pretty good ridge here. And also, it's not totally adhering to all the places on the body. But if I hit this thing with a heat gun and heat it up, and push it down, kind of smooth it down towards the front here, it's really going to stick nice to the lure and lay a lot flatter on the lure as well. Smooth it out. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to wear a glove, because if you touch that with your finger, it's too hot for your finger, but not for the glove. So all I'm doing is kind of pushing that forward and sliding this tape down. And so now that tape is laying a lot flatter, and you can see there's no ridge there, and it's kind of gone around the bait now. It's kind of taken on that curvature of the bait. So without the heat gun, I would say not so good, but once you hit that with a heat gun and smooth it out, it really is pretty nice. So all in all, I think for what I'm doing, this is pretty good stuff. It does a nice job, and it's obviously really quick and easy to get that on there. It's not going to do the curved surfaces like you could if you were foiling a bait or something like that, but it also doesn't take that much time. And for me, when I'm making lures to catch fish, and I want to crank these things out pretty quickly, and I'm always monkeying around with designs and body styles and different lips and things like that, so I make a lot of baits. And so, you know, to be able to get some chrome on there that quickly is really nice. So I like this stuff, and it actually works nice for me. If you were trying to, you know, lay it around a more curved surface, it's not going to work. Or if you really want to make a beautiful bait, it's not really for that. But if you want to make it quickly, you want to make some baits quickly and have it function nicely, I would say it's pretty good stuff.